Alright, I'm back. I got that fixed. Two computers running the stream and they were both playing, so I was hearing myself in my headphones, which was kind of weird, and I was echoing. Okay, now it's fixed. The stream playing on both computers. Anyways, good morning. We do have a great stream for you today. We have our 10 contract challenge coming up at 6:30, right at the market open. I'm sorry, 9:30 your time, 6:30 my time. Anyways, 10 contract challenge. You're going to place two trades. You're going to give me your entry and then your exit, and we're going to calculate and see at the end of the hour who has the most on the P&L. So go ahead and get our chart cleaned up for today, and we have a special guest coming up at 6:30. Dogs.
Stop it. Stop it.
All right.
Stop it.
So what we do in the stream is we are testing a strategy. It's a 50% retracement strategy based on the Fibonacci's. We'll run you through the entry, the exit, the risk management, and the basics of the strategy. So it looks like on the overnight we had some pretty trendy lines here, which is kind of nice. All kinds of malfunctions this morning. So we're going to go ahead and erase all of our previous drawing tools. So we'll right click on the chart, go to drawing tools, and then down at the bottom remove all objects. So this chart here is our 512 tick chart. Looks like it took a dive after the close last night. Pretty much gave back all of its move for the day, and then some. Oh, it's going to be a fun Friday. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and mark the overnight high. Hit F6 on your keyboard. That'll bring up your horizontal drawing tool, and just click on the high. Select it, right click and hit properties. We can change the color. If it does decide to go back up today, we'll be looking for that to be a resistance area. And same thing with the overnight low. We'll go ahead and mark that. If you're new to the stream, we appreciate you stopping by and supporting the stream. It's our 4th day streaming. The last 3 days haven't been the greatest trading days, not gonna lie. But hopefully we'll make some ground back up today and get some decent trades. Alright, so we got your overnight high marked, our overnight low. We will go ahead and mark this here. This is a pretty good support area also, since the triple topped here. Go ahead and mark that. You can use whatever color you want. I use yellow just because it sticks out, but for your resistance and your support, I would probably use all the same color. Okay, so overall we're looking like we're in a downward trend in the short time frame anyways. So we'll go ahead and mark our short here. So the retracement strategy, basically when it's trending lower, you're going to obviously want to go for a short trade. So you're going to go from the most significant high down to the most significant low, and we're waiting for it to retrace back to the 50% area, and anywhere between the 50% and the 61.8 is your entry area for the trade. Once it gets to that area, you want to make sure that it's going to hold and not push past it. Once you go 2 ticks past that area, the trade is broken and the short's no longer good. So if we look here, our entry area is right at the top of our channel. So hopefully we'll have a decent trade there. You would expect once it hits the top of that channel, it'll move back down towards the bottom of the channel. Okay, so looking at our bigger time frame on the 15-minute chart, you'll notice I have some new markers here, and we're going to go over those after the first hour of trading. Those are pivot points. We're going to try to incorporate those into our strategy. Okay, so the same thing is holding true on the bigger time frame. We are in a downward trend. This is after the close yesterday. Looks like about 6:30. Took a nosedive. So it looks like same thing's holding true here. On the 15 minutes already in its 50% retracement area. We will be looking for it to hold in that area. And it hasn't, so it's going to break out of the channel, which means we might be heading up today. So once the market opens, we'll be looking for it to break above this high, and then we'll start going for a long short, or I'm sorry, a long trade. Never heard of a long short, but and in that case, what we'll do for a long trade, hit F8 on your keyboard, bring up your Fibonacci's, right click, I'm sorry, left click at the most recent significant low up to the high, and now you'll be waiting for it to retrace back to this 50% area. But it needs to break this area of that high first in order to get into a long trade. Might fake us out there and come back down. Okay, so one thing I did want to go over before the market opens. In order to use the stream chat, it won't let you type anything in this area unless you have a YouTube channel. In order to get a YouTube channel, you have to be signed in. Click on your profile picture there, and then you're going to go down to what's called Creator Studio. And then you're going to go down to Channel, and then it'll say Create Channel. And you just have to give the channel a name. It can be whatever you want. It can be your first and last name, or just make something up. Once you do that, you have a channel. There's nothing else you have to do, and you'll be able to use the chat box. I know some of the viewers yesterday were having an issue using the chat, and it's because you don't have a YouTube channel. So in order to leave comments or chat, you have to have that channel created in order for that box to ungray. Alright. Let's go ahead and take a look at some news. Of course, Trump's already tweeted this morning, working on the Fed again. Yesterday when they did that interview on CNBC, I was in a trade, of course, and the market just tanked. Yeah, it got stopped out. So as of right now, it looks like the markets are moving lower. See if that continues or if it's gonna come back. All right, we're about 11 minutes away from the open. Let's see here. So if you want to get on the 10 contract challenge, basically what's going to happen is you just put your entry into the chat box. I'm going to notate it and write it down. And let's see here. And then I'll keep track of those, and whoever has the most points during the hour of trade from 9:30 to 10:30 will go ahead and add up the P&Ls and declare a winner. So this area here is where you'll type into the chat. It'll look a little bit different on your screen, but so it looks like we're making a decent break out of that channel. See if it holds.
It's 6:26.
Market opens in 4 minutes. So in order to change the amount of contracts that you're trading during the day, you just go down to your super dom here, change that to 10. Obviously that's not what we're normally working with. We're working with 2 contracts with our strategy. The reason why we're using 2 contracts is so we can practice our price targets. And it did break above that high, so we're looking for a long trade here. So we'll be looking for it to retrace down to this area to get into a long trade. So after the first hour trade, we'll get back into our normal strategy. After the 10 contract challenge, we'll get back into the 2 contracts. For the challenge, we're not really using the strategy. You can go in to the market whenever you want. Basically, we're just looking to see who can make the most money in the 1 hour trade. So it doesn't look like it made it all the way back. But at the market open, you really can't expect too much. It's going to fly around a little bit. Alright, so the market's open. Challenge has started. If you do want to get on the challenge, just type your entry into the chat and I'll go ahead and mark your entry price. Just let me know if you're going long or short. and we'll keep track of it on our little notepad here. And here to do my trades for me, for the challenge only, is my youngest daughter, Aubrey. And she's going to tell us if we should go long or short. So what do you think?
Think it's gonna go short.
Think it's going to go short?
Mhm.
All right, here we go.
Order pending.
All right, so it missed our entry,
Order canceled.
but if you just want to get it in the market, all you got to do is turn your chart trader on and sell market.
Order filled.
We'll see what happens here. See if she gets stopped out. And you just tell me when you want to sell it. See, I would have went long.
So what?
So that's the exact opposite. So it should be a good trade for you. So here we go. Oh, and you know what? On our chart trader, we have it on 2 contracts.
Is there anybody
So I'll go ahead
on?
and close that out real quick and switch over to 10 contracts and sell market.
Order filled.
So far, we've lost $500. Going back down.
I beat you.
So for the challenge, we get 2 trades. We'll see what happens.
Oh yeah, I knew it was gonna go down.
Oh.
I think so.
So right now, based on our strategy, it just retraced to the 50% line, which would mean it's going up. But we'll see.
Ah, dang it! I hope not. But I still think it's gonna go down. I mean, I hope yes, but I still think it's gonna go down. Don't know what I was thinking.
Well, with the way I've been trading this week, you could be right. Uh-oh.
Oh no, what's going on? What's going on?
Yeah, it's going up.
Up?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to put our first stop here at the top here. Actually, I'll give you 1 tick above. Oh, there it goes. It's coming back down.
Yes.
And just so you guys are aware, this is a simulated account. This is not real money. Obviously, we wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
Okay, it came right back down to that 50% area. So the trade would be good as long as it stays in this entry area. It can go 1 tick past the 61.8 and still be a valid trade.
Dang.
Uh-oh. It could do anything though. The market just opened. Getting chopped up here.
It's going down, huh?
If you guys want to get in on the challenge, just type your entry and whether you're going long or short into the chat. I'll keep track of your P&L. Oh, starting to form a nice bull flag there. We'll see if it goes up
See if it goes down.
or if it goes down.
It's obviously gonna go down.
But it's holding that 50% retracement there.
So it's
Right to the T. So far, you're down $875.
Ooh, okay, that's
That's a whole lot of McDonald's. Oh, 1,000.
is that good? I'm just kidding.
That would be negative 1,000.
I'm just kidding. But this is big, so
Yeah, we're going
that
back down
wouldn't
again.
really hurt. Yes. It's basically a game to me. I feel like it is, but it's actually just a job.
I think you're gonna get stopped out here.
I know I'm not.
I could be wrong. Now, in your favor, it did just triple top, so it could come down.
Ooh. I need a chair so I can actually sit because it hurts my head. Okay, still see me? Okay. I need a chair so. Okay. Still see me? No, it's not.
So based on our strategy, our first target would have been this this line here. We'll go into more detail once we get into regular trading. Second target would be negative 23,
Yay.
or use a trailing stop. We'll go over that
So it's going down.
for the moment.
Mostly at the moment.
So this is your how much money you're making or losing. If it's red, that's bad.
Then it's going down. Yes. Oh, yes.
Normally during the day we don't trade in the first half hour anyways. We just wait for the market to create its trend. Otherwise this happens. You get the chop. It does look like it's forming a new channel.
I almost burped. Well, I did burp, but I saved the burp.
You can see where it formed that apex and bounced out of it. The triangle formation.
There's only one regular triangle.
So you're still in there, you haven't gotten stopped out.
No, it's going back up. Go back down, go back down. Yes. No. No. Yes.
Welcome to my world.
No.
That's how my trades normally look. Alright, alright. Okay. Went right back down to that 50 again.
See, I'm the evil one, so I picked red. I mean, yeah, I basically choose the patterns. I'm a devil.
This could be it for you.
No, it couldn't. I mean, yeah. What the crap am I talking about? It's gonna go short.
Mhm.
Oh my god, we're up to 1,000. I mean, we're down to 1,000.
1,125. And you just got stopped out.
Oh,
Yeah. Normally when it comes up and does the consolidation, it kind of curves up. It's your bull flag and it tends to break out of that.
Come on.
Alright, so you got one trade down and you're negative $1,278. So now,
So close.
what is your second trade?
It's obviously gonna go up.
Obviously going to go up.
Absolutely.
I will give you the benefit of the doubt, and I will wait for it to retrace first, and then we'll get in. So we're going to wait for it to come back, and then we'll get in long for you. See if it does a retracement here. Might not be done going up. Oh, here we go. So, going long.
Order pending.
You said long, right?
Yeah, I'm starting.
Here it comes. And just so you know, if you have your mouse over this super dom, it stops the movement of the dom, and that price is fluctuating, so you can't leave your mouse on that when you're trying to make a trade. Otherwise, you'll be thinking it's one price and it's another. See if it gets you in here. It's coming down, coming back to that 50% retracement. That would be a good entry. There it comes. Get in there. No, that's what you want. That's alright. We're not in the trade yet.
Oh.
I told you I was going to wait for it to retrace first and then get you in there.
Order.
Alright, we're in.
Yes. Okay.
See what happens for you.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab it. Do you want any drink? Or is that?
Alright, this one should perform a little bit better for, let's see. So our first target would be right at the top of this channel. I'm sorry, at the previous high, at the 0 mark. So it should at least get up there for, and then we'd be looking for it to go to the 23 and 50 for second target. So we can we'll let them run. Since we have two targets, it's going to split the 10 contracts into 5 per target. So this target is 5, this one is 5. If you wanted to combine them and make just one target, you would click on it, drag over it, and drop. Which is probably what we'll do. So it closes them all at once. So most likely it's going to come up to at least the top of this channel here. It just hit the, no, I'm sorry, it didn't. So it just hit the overnight, no, I'm sorry, that is the, that's
And
wrong.
that, how did we do?
We erased our other one.
How did we do? Did we get kicked out?
You're doing good so far, you're at positive 125. Chocolate milk. You're doing good. It's trending upwards.
Okay. Oh, oh no.
This right here on your chart trader is how many ticks it's up. You can click on that. It'll give you a dollar amount,
Also, that basically,
percentage.
if it's up to like 5, that's bad. I'm guessing because 5 mostly means half, and half basically means bad.
No, you're doing fine. That just meant half a point.
Ah, okay.
So you're moving up. You're at positive 625 up to 750 now. So since you're in 10 contracts, each tick is worth 125. It's basically one contract of 1250 times 10.
Which is 1250 times 10, 11,050. Oh no, 1,150.
So normally, in order to trade 10 contracts, you would need a minimum of $5,000 in your
Minimum
account
wage.
in order to trade it. It's $500 for the margin times 10, so 5,000. Obviously, you wouldn't want to do that. As soon as it ticked down, you'd be getting a call. So just as we suspected, it went up to the top of that channel. It did hit the second target, 23%, or negative 23, I'm sorry.
Is that good?
In normal trading, yeah. This isn't quite normal. We're waiting for it to go up as high as possible.
But that's still good because it's almost all the way out.
So right now you're at $875.
And not bad.
That is bad. You're still down $1,200.
What? Oh my god.
So what we can do, we can start trailing our stop once it makes another high here. If it makes another high. Okay. This is to be expected. That's another retracement. We'll get rid of this. We'll go from our most significant low up to the high, and we can expect it to come down to the 50% retracement, and then it should go back up from there, hopefully.
Hopefully. Just hopefully. It's doing good. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. No, it's going so bad right now.
So if it drops below this 61.8, you could be in trouble.
Oh no, it's going so bad.
We'll go ahead and put our stop one tick behind the previous significant low,
Yes. No. Yes.
which we would never do in our normal strategy. We never move our stop.
Why is it going so bad?
So I think the best case scenario, if it goes back up to the top of that channel, you'll go ahead and sell and you'll break even. Maybe a little bit more. So it's holding right in that entry area that we normally take.
It's going so bad right now. I think I already lost it.
Well, it should go back up from here.
I'm so sad. So has anybody joined?
No, not yet.
Hmm.
If you did want to get on the challenge, all you have to do is give us your entry We'll mark it down and let us know if you're going to go long or short.
Stop doing that. Like,
That's a good sign. It's holding pretty strong right at that retracement. That's what you're looking for in the normal strategy.
what does that mean? No, yeah.
That's how many contracts we have in the market.
Oh.
So it did just break the 61.8. I would suspect it to come down to about 801.75 ish, or like 802.
I just hope it's 802.
And then it should pop off the bottom of this channel.
Oh no. Don't think that, or else it's gonna happen.
That would be good since your stop is below that channel.
I almost had a heart attack. Or no, I almost couldn't breathe.
So total right now you're down about $1,400.
It's not that bad. But it's bad.
I think you're gonna get a break here. I think it may pop up a little bit.
It better not, or else I'm gonna slap that computer by its face. It's so hot, I'm getting the freaking goosebumps or whatever.
Trading has that effect on you.
No, look. Freaking getting these things.
Just went past that 61.8. It can go one tick past to still be a valid trade. This one went 2 ticks.
That's good.
And there it goes.
Oh, 2 seconds saved. We were so close. 3 ticks and it was like, I'm just gonna go up because like I'm done going down.
Draw the opposing short here, and you could expect it to come back to this area. One tick past, that's still valid for the short. And that's broke.
What?
It's going up for you.
Come on, we got this, fam. Dang it, are these like heat things or something? What are they called? Heat hives. I'm getting heat hives.
Probably going to go up to this 0575 and then come back down to the bottom of the channel.
Ooh, no, no, honey, no. It's not good.
You're at positive 1,000 on this trade, but you were negative 1250 on your last trade.
So this is my lucky win.
Well, you don't want to get out yet because you're still negative overall.
how close are we for losing it? Like, what's the tape that's going down to
The red
channel?
line. That's gonna sell your contracts.
No, like, what line is going to the
Or where
channel?
do I think it's gonna go to?
No, like, what line? Like, what line does it go to when you get kicked out?
This red line. That'll kick you out.
But which line is gonna go down there?
Oh, this one. This is what you're watching.
Okay. I was like, what the heck am I watching here? I thought I was looking at that.
Well, it's the same thing. The yellow basically is your price indicator. So is the black. And they both go down at the same time.
Oh, okay, so
You're just seeing the same thing in two different spots. So you can either watch it here or you can watch it over here.
I'd say there because there's more stuff to look at.
Right, that's
and
why they
it's-
made this. It's a lot easier to look at.
Yeah, so I'm gonna look over there. We're doing kind of good. We're off to 4 ticks or 5 ticks.
Well, it's in an upward trend here, so
Let's
if it
just
goes
see.
above this line, and that beats that previous high,
How low do you think it's gonna go? Till it blows.
I think it's going to chop here for a few minutes.
Good.
But then I think it's going to pop out of this channel and head up to probably the 2810 area.
Dang, it went down so low. Go back. It went down so low.
Yeah, that was after the market closed yesterday.
When does it close?
Well, in New York, where we used to live, it closes at 3:15. Well, give or take.
Don't you ever notice? Don't you
It
ever?
never actually closes.
No, Dad. Don't you ever speak about New York again, or else I'll buy a ticket in like 1 second and freaking go down there. I miss New York so much. Okay, but when does it end here?
It'll keep going
No.
until
Oh,
it hits that line.
what
I'm going to go ahead
time?
and move this target.
No, what time does it stop? Like, what time does the market close?
Oh, the trading? The trading never actually ends. You can trade whenever you want.
Yeah. Okay.
This market ends. Okay, I think you're going to get a nice bounce here and you're going to make some decent profit.
Ooh. Bueno. What did I just freaking say? Delicious.
Gotta break through that. Gotta get up. We're at positive 1,000 right now.
Delicious.
Oh, there he goes. It's gonna try. We'll move our target a little bit because it could pop pretty quick.
So basically, what's the point of this?
To make money. It's gonna come back down again.
So you're basically doing this
This is fake.
fake? Why aren't you doing it real?
We're practicing. Just like you practice for softball, we practice for trading.
Boy, you messed up this time. I hate softball so much. I almost got kicked at the ball. Well, yeah. With
Okay,
the soccer
right here,
ball.
I think it's gonna come out.
I actually almost got hit with the soccer ball, and then one soccer ball hit my stomach. I almost passed out. I was crying so bad. I hated the person that for like weeks. They hit me in the stomach.
Alright, it's 10 now.
So, like, what do you do with the lines?
I just use these lines to help show where this is going to go.
So, I'm doing a good job right now?
Yeah, you
Holy
are.
moly!
You're actually positive right now.
I am.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like 10 tick
You're up
marks.
about $300 right now.
Ooh, that's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes bad, because what if you don't have any $300? Wait,
So what we're going to do now, just so you don't lose any money, is we'll start moving our stop up. We'll go one tick below that one. Because
Is
we
that
can
bad?
expect this to come back
oh no,
down to this area here.
no.
That's normal.
Dad, we're gonna go down so low. Like 1 second, and then we're down. Well, no, not really, because mostly it's going up, so it might still go up if it's really low.
Mm-hmm. So basically what's happening is, just like we bought contracts right here, well then it goes up, and then people sell their contracts to make their money, right? And the selling brings the price down. And as soon as the price comes down, people start buying contracts again and it goes back up. That's why you get these fluctuations.
Lots of people are going down. I mean, short.
That just means people are selling contracts.
Yeah, don't do that. We need to buy contracts, not sell, or else we're gonna go down.
So it's probably going to come down to here, and then it should start moving back up.
Sell a contract. I mean, not sell. Buy a contract. That's going low.
That's right. It'll come back up.
These peoples are selling
I have
contracts.
a feeling it's going to make a pretty good pop up here.
Me too, for some reason. But I never think that. Oh,
I think it's going to come up to about this area here. Then we'll sell and be done.
I think it's gonna go to 11 and 12 between.
Getting close to our stop there.
Yes, we are indeed. God. Yes, we are indeed.
If it hits this line, it's going to take your profit.
Oh no, I just noticed we're so freaking close. We're literally.
But there is a reason why we put it there.
No. You stay. Go back.
Stop filled.
That's it.
Dad, I told you.
Well, the problem is, if it keeps going down, you lose even more money. And there
Dad.
goes your college fund. Alright, so didn't do so good, but that's okay. We'll get them next time. Thank you for joining us. Alright, we'll get back into the swing of things. Alright, so we're still looking to go long here. We're just going to wait for this retracement. Normally we wouldn't have taken this just because the risk to reward isn't there. Going up from 805 to 807 and a quarter. You could, if it's trending up, like this, you could get in the market because your first target is right here and then your second target's here. So you'd actually be doing about a 2-to-1 risk ratio. And most likely it'll still go up from here. It broke our trade, but it's probably going to go sideways into the channel and then pop. But for our strategy, that trade is dead. I'm going to go ahead and let that work out. I'm going to grab a new cup of coffee, and I'll be right back.
Wash your hands so clean tonight. You can meet me on the other side. We're impatient like young gods. Feel the shift in the air with me, and the light is what you can't see. Keep on dreaming against all odds. We are the ones about to break the mold. The curtain call, now we'll start the show. We are the ones about to lose control. We are the daylight. We are the daylight. We are the daylight. We are the Wake me up like a flower in spring. We're the sun when a new day begins. Like a spark that fuels the flame. Feel the earth shaking under our feet. Oh, this night is just all we need. When there's no one else to blame. We are the ones about to break the mold. The curtain call, now we'll start the show. We are the ones about to lose control. We are the daylight. We are the daylight. We are the daylight. We are the
Alright, we're back. Still going sideways. It did break that previous high there, so looking for it to still go up. If you're just joining the stream, welcome. I'm just at our 10 contract challenge with my youngest daughter, Aubrey. I'm going to go ahead and switch back to our normal strategy here. 2 contracts. We'll go ahead and turn our chart trader off. This is your chart trader. You can either use this or you can use your super down to trade. So with Ninja Trader, in order to get your target prices and everything up and to show on the chart, you have to have that chart trader on. But if you don't want to have it taking up screen space here, you can hide it. In order to get our green price targets on the screen, it has to be on though. And that'll show your stop on the screen, your 2 price targets based on our strategy. So once it goes into the side of this channel here, it hits the bottom, we'll be looking for it to go up, hopefully. We're still at about the 50% retracement area. It did break the long, so we won't make a trade. So that's the bottom of our entry area right there. It can go 1 tick past, but if it goes 2, that breaks the trade. We'll just keep an eye on it. It could either bounce off this bottom or it can drop through it. It could be making a bigger retracement here. So it can drop from the next significant low up to the high. And if it does drop through there, I can expect it to come down to here. These other yellow lines here are just the previous significant highs. We can expect those to be resistance once the price gets up to that area. So we'll go ahead and mark our first 30 minutes of trade, which would have been this low. I'm sorry. This low. Oh, it's up in here. Let me zoom in a little bit. To zoom in on the screen, you just use these price bars here to zoom in. And then you can use your mouse wheel to slide back and forth. So 6:30. So this is actually our, it hasn't moved much. That's the low of the first 30 minutes, and then the high right about here. Goes green. So as of right now, it's still within the first 30-minute range of trading. broke out of it a little bit. Come back in. Are you watching my stream?
Look at the chat.
Broke out of it a little bit. Oh, nice.
Okay, I will kill you and strangle
Okay.
you. Come here.
So we're just waiting here. It's in a sideways pattern right now, and we're hoping it'll bounce off the bottom of that channel and continue on upwards. Take a look at our 15-minute here. Let's see if it held this. Yeah, so on the bigger time frame, it held the retracement here down to the 50. Well, actually, it broke it by one tick. Let's see if it held it short. Nope. So now we'll be looking for it to hold this long here. So these new lines that I have on the chart are pivot points. Basically those, it's a indicator that you can get right here in NinjaTrader. Go to indicators, scroll down, pivots. To add it to your chart, just double click. I've already got it there, so I don't need it. That's a pretty commonly used indicator, especially popular with day traders. Those pivot points are based on daily highs, daily lows, and then there's some math to it that they divide and add. But it comes up with these pivot levels. You have your 3 supports, 3 resistances, and your main pivot point. And throughout the day, you can expect those to be resistance areas or support areas. As you can see, it popped right off that support. And now it just about came up to that resistance and came back down. Paul had emailed me yesterday at the stream and mentioned that we may not have been taking our trades at the proper pivot points. So we're going to try to incorporate that as far as helping dictate which retracements we actually take and which ones are going to actually hold. The pivot points work best on smaller time frames, obviously, because it's based off daily levels. So you'd want to use that with a 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, 30 minute. I probably wouldn't go much higher than that, a 30 minute. Okay, so it looks like it's dropping through the channel here. We can expect it to come down to this entry area here for long. reset our account here. Just right click on the account, hit edit, and we can set the prices here. So with our strategy that we're testing it with a $5,000 account. Reset. It looks like it might come off that channel after all. So if it doesn't come back down to this retracement here, we're just going to wait for it to make another high, and then we'll drop from this low up to the high. Preferably though, I'd like to see it break this high first. Or at least break this short. Okay, so that short's broke. So we'll be looking for a long. And this green bar here is just the top of our 30-minute range, our first 30 minutes of trading. I draw those in because they can sometimes act as resistance or support. Looks like we're going to go into another apex here. So it did come down to our 50% retracement area. We won't take that trade. The reason being is still a little bit low for the risk to reward management. Our entry would be right around 2804.75. You're looking at about a point and a half. I have a feeling it's going to chop through this and then pop out. We can probably expect it to come down and up a couple times. And then at that point, it'll either pop out of that apex or drop out of it. You never want to trade into a widening pattern though, where you're getting lower lows, higher highs, because that can indicate a reversal. The way the market's been moving this morning, looks like it'll pop in the upward direction out of this. If it does, our next area would be the 2810 area, and then up to 13. If you guys are just joining the stream, welcome. Appreciate you guys stopping by and supporting the stream. If you have any questions or anything, you're welcome to type in the chat there. If I don't know the answer, I'll let you know. We'll try to find out for you. Morning, Raphael. Sorry your message kind of got lost in my daughter's chatter there. you guys have any questions about how to set up your charts and whatnot, getting NinjaTrader set up, everything's free. We don't use any paid indicators. We're not trying to sell you nothing. All the information is down in the description below the video. You're welcome to join in on the trading. The strategy that we're testing, we haven't had the best of luck with it this week. We're actually down probably about $800–900 this week. But we're going to give it a fair run. It might be me. I know I've been a little slow to pull the trigger on some of the entries. So I think with a little more practice, I think it'll pan out. I know I've used it for probably about 2 or 3 months, and it seemed to be a pretty effective strategy. Plus, it gives you a couple options as far as exit. You can either trail the stop or use multiple price targets. And obviously, when you're trading, you can either use one contract or two. The reason I'm using 2 right now is just so we can practice with multiple price targets. It helps to learn the platform a little bit with the multiple contracts. Go ahead and get rid of this longer, or this bigger long for now. Clean up the screen a little bit. Yeah, so Fridays tend to be slow. We're just waiting for it to do its thing here. These apexes are necessarily not a bad thing. Basically, it's just a consolidation. People selling off, taking their profits. Or it can be a momentum change. Could end up coming down. But if I had to make a call here, I would say it's probably going to pop up. There it goes. Alright, so now we can get rid of that, and we'll be looking for a long. I'd like to see it break that previous high though. Sorry about all the zooming and moving. I'd like to keep the chart a little bit bigger so people are watching on their phones, they can see the price areas. Alright, so as far as risk management goes, I'd like to see a little bit bigger long here, because what happens is when you draw your retracement, it cuts that in half. So your entry area is a 205.50-ish, going up to a 206.75. That's only a 1.25. Our stops are 6 ticks, so that's $150. To take a trade that's only a 1.25, the risk to reward just isn't there. You don't want to take that trade. Now, if it's making a strong move up, yeah, I mean, you want to take that trade, but most likely it would have a bigger retracement than this, and the risk to reward ratio would be there anyways. So we'll see if it holds this retracement. My gut is telling me we should probably get in here, but it's against the rules. Yeah, so it's heading up to that first price target right there, which would have been your 1.25, maybe a little bit more. Oh, yeah, 1.5. So it breaks this high here, we can expect it to at least go up to the 2810 area. So it just hit the second target. So still not making real big swings here. We would need it to retrace down to here in order for it to be worth it. Just waiting for that more definitive move so we can get the risk to reward. That's what we're looking for. Getting a little better. Let's take a look at our pivot points here. So right now it's at resistance. It's your main pivot point level. So we might see a retracement here. And Paul, if you're listening, I know you can't use the chat, but I appreciate the email yesterday letting us know about those pivot points.
Order.
All right, let's go ahead and get on this one. Come on down. That's still a good entry right there, but hopefully we can get that extra tick. I know I've been a little bit hesitant to pull the trigger on these retracements just for confirmation that it's going to hold, but it's cost me a few good trades. But you have to be patient because a lot of times with these retracements it'll come down, come back up, and then come right back down to that area. You just don't want to chase the trade up. Come on, Phyllis. Seriously. I don't understand that. A fill would normally be a lot quicker than that. Well, looks like we're going to miss that entry. First target would be right here. That's alright, we'll catch the next one.
Order canceled.
Yeah, so that is acting as resistance there, that pivot point. We'll see. They may push right through it. Did get a bounce off of this one. If you are going to use those pivot points, when you go into your indicator settings, I'm told that you want to make sure that you want to have this on bar close for the setting. That way it calculates the ranges based off the bar close. And Paul, I think this is what you were talking about here too. We were on our previous trades, we were trying to get into a trade here, and it was struggling to go up and get to that target, and the reason being it's right at a resistance. So we'll wait and see what this does. So I think what we'll do is we'll wait for it to push through that resistance area before we try to get in on this trade. We are due for a little bit bigger retracement. So it's still holding there, but it's struggling right here. 2808.50. Right at that resistance area. 08 1/4 is right where that resistance line is. So after the end of our first week of streaming, if you guys have any suggestions or anything, feel free to email me. I'll go ahead and put my email address in the chat here. Paul emailed me yesterday with that pivot idea, and stuff like that will help out, especially when we got other traders and stuff like that. By no means am I a professional. There's going to be some people that come into the room that have been doing this a lot longer than I have, and to get that input from other traders is priceless. We appreciate that. Let's take a look at the bigger picture here. So this is yesterday's trading, starting to move back up into that area. Recovering from Trump's tweet. And of course I was in a trade yesterday when that news came out. Bobby tried to warn me in the chat and I didn't catch it quick enough. And it tanked and stopped us out. Still holding at the 50 there. One tick past the 61.8 is okay, so 625 would be the limit. As soon as it hits that 6, that trade's dead. So we'll wait and see what it does here. See if we can get past that resistance area. Looks like it's going to make its move here. Still struggling. Oh, yeah, I think you nailed it on the head. There's different strategies that are based off this, these pivots. There's one, you can get a pivot bounce, which would be this one, or a pivot breakout. Once it breaks above the pivot, it's a buy signal, and you sell at the next pivot point. But there's even more than that. Those are just the basic ones. So it did get to our target, but it's still struggling. It's just double topped. So we may see a reversal here and maybe come down to the big retracement.
desperate fight. My fears are waiting for me at the outside. Overwhelmed, feeling low. I'm the star in this depressing one-man show. Wish I would be able to flee, but I'm not stable. Wouldn't stand a chance, it's just too much to handle. I need an inspiration, another world I have to see. I travel with my puddle station to a place of fantasy. Whatever I wanna be, nothing blocks me, I'm free. Gonna beat my enemies. As a king or as a knight, I will reign, I will fight until I shine in the night. Why should I stay? Please take me away from the life I don't belong. With might and with force, I'm winning the war. No fears, here is where I'm truly strong.
So we got that double top there. That's usually an indicator of a reversal. So we'll draw up our next retracement. Should be down to there. Should put us right around the 2805 area. $28.01. Based on the 15-minute, it could be a little bit bigger. Which would be this one. Don't think it's going to come down that far. We'll go to our next significant low. If it breaks that, then we'll draw up the 15-minute. But at that point, I think we'd be looking for a short. So it's still holding that 50%. It's got to break through this 6 1/4. If you guys want to learn more about those pivot points, I'll go ahead and put the a link in the chat. You can read up on that. I'm not affiliated with Trading Sim at all, but they got a nice write-up on it. Alright, so we broke that retracement. Looks like we're going to do a full retracement here. So we're going to look for it to hold here. Don't want to wait too long and miss the trade, but we got to make sure it's going to hold and not do that full 15-minute retracement. Starting to get some resistance there from the seller or from the buyers. So if anything, this would be a 3-point pop. Still coming down. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get in there. We are getting some resistance. Strategy calls for the 50% retracement, so we'll go ahead and try it. I just think I'm having a trust issue with this entry and waiting too long. We'll go ahead and get in at 2806.
Order filled.
That's still in our entry area. Probably going to come down to that 2805 though. So I'm having a hard time getting filled. We are getting resistance there. We'll see if it holds. So our first target's going to be at the 2808.50. Still struggling here a little bit. And ironically enough, we double topped right at that pivot point. So I may have messed up and maybe should have waited on this trade until it retraced to a bigger profit area, which would have been down here at the 15-minute. That 801, that would have given us a lot better reward to risk. And then if it did stop again at that pivot point, we still would have made our target and profit. So far it's holding, we'll see what happens. Zoom in a little bit so you guys can see this. Literally in limbo. No news at this point. Trump's keeping quiet. Markets are slightly up. Not expecting a whole lot of movement today, being Friday. And our trade's starting to head in the right direction. Needed to break that area there to know that we're still in the long. So once we hit our target here, cross your fingers, we'll go ahead and move our stop up to break even. Only because I don't have a whole lot of confidence in this trade because of that pivot point. And this double top. Looks like they're going to war here. Fighting it back and forth. did break the short here, so it should get up there. Yeah, I think the Bulls are going to win this one over. Still holding, barely. Yeah, I think we're going to try to preserve some capital here, guys, and get out on this one. I don't have a lot of confidence in this. That double top, and we're right at the pivot point. I probably should have never even gotten in this trade. So I have a feeling we're going to come down here and we'll look for a short. think I pulled the trigger a little bit too soon.
Echoes of your words crashing into me. Drown me in your lies, and there's no way to breathe. And my walls will keep you down. I am safe without the sound of you around. It's getting colder, and I'm the storm that's taking over.
Well, this one might be on me. So I let my emotions get on that one, for sure. The retracement did hold. I just don't think it's going to get up to that target. Well, if this one hits, it's going to be 100% my fault. Oh. Yeah, it's going to get there. $808.25 is that pivot point. If you look on our 15-minute. No, actually it was 707.75. And it is definitely struggling here. Well, it definitely got there. But man, did it struggle. My fault on that one, for sure. Yeah, CTG, I hear you on that. I should have. Yippers. Oh, okay. We'll shake that one off. So we're still looking for a long. Hopefully it makes a better move out of this area. Well, I made it up to our first price target. We'll see if it continues on or if it comes back down. So now that resistance level is now going to act as a support, and it should bounce here. May not even make it all the way back to that retracement. The support's up here. So we'll just keep following the high up until it starts to retrace. And then we'll look for an entry area. So our next resistance area is going to be right around the 810 area. Markets overall are starting to make a move up. So on our original trade, we had gotten in at 806. Just missed a 3-point move. Don't make that mistake. With all the excitement this morning, we did forget to take a look at our economic news. I think there's a whole lot going on today. It's kind of trucking along here. So the top of our channel here is kind of lining up with that resistance level. So we may get a pullback up here and maybe an opportunity to get back in. Well, let that be a lesson to me. If you commit to a trade, you commit fully to the trade and don't bail out on it. That's a 4.25 point trade I just bailed out on. But you live, you learn. Sometimes it could be an expensive lesson. A 4.25 point trade would have been done for the day on that account. So we'll see if it pushes through this resistance area here, or if it's gonna retrace first. Right now it looks like it's going to be pushing off the top of this channel. The reason why we draw the top of this here is the market tends to repeat itself and come back to those areas. And the way you draw that up is you take your two major highs there and just connect them, and it continues on. So we've now hit the top of that 4 times. And you can do the same with the bottom, and that's how you create your channel. If there's no clear form on the bottom, what I like to do is just copy that one, bring it down to the lowest point, and we'll tend to react to that. And if it does continue down, it may take a little while to get down there, and it's almost like it's going to bounce off the bottom. So it held right to that resistance line. And the way we got that is just going back to your most significant highs and just hitting F6 and drop the line. Same with this up here. This will be our next resistance area, 2813. But we should come down and bounce off that pivot point, which puts us right in our entry area. I'll definitely feel a little more confident on this trade.
Order pending.
So basically, to get this retracement area, we're just hitting F8 on our keyboard, drawing up our Fibonacci retracements, drawing up to the high. There's your target area. Gonna take a quick bathroom break, see if we get filled here, and be right back.
Summer days burn me out, love just brings me down. Cold inside like winter leaves that slowly leave the ground. Hey, you come back, I wanna give you a chance. Love me like you used to, so we can learn again. The skin is getting brown, baby, drink your night away. Maybe we will not regret it, you will not regret me. Laying down under the sun, burning love cause we are young. No one tells us what's done wrong, cause it's just me and you.
Alright, still plugging away. Struggling to get back down there. Looks like we might get a repeat performance of earlier. Gotta move up, move to the top, come down, make a lower high, came back down again, made a higher high, and then it came down. So we'll see what happens here. Did the same thing here. And that's where we had gotten in that previous trade in our entry area. So if you look in this area here, start from here, go up, make that high right there, go up again, make that high there, come down, make that low, go back up, make that high, come back down, make that low, come back up, make the high, and then it comes down. One thing about the market, it does tend to repeat itself. This time it just may not get down to our entry area. Well, but the good news is by the time it gets down to our entry area, all these sellers should be done. They're having a hard time getting it down there. Not sure if we're going to make it down there or not. So this is our entry area here, anywhere between 750 and 7, actually 6 and 3/4. Really struggling to get down there. But I'm also seeing over where my stop is going to be placed, my 6-point stop, or 6-tick stop, which is going to be right there. But I don't want to miss getting in on trade. Gotta get in. That'll put our stop right at 6, which puts us at this support level and below the channel. if we can get filled. One thing you want to keep in mind too that I kind of messed up on is when you move your entry point, you now are last in line to get filled. Hopefully you can get down there and fill us. So if I were to move my order from here down to here, I would now be 423rd in line.
Order filled.
There we go. So now no matter what, I am committed to this trade and I will not bail. Won't make that mistake twice. So our first target will be right here at the 28.1050, which is also a resistance area, but hopefully we can break through it. Looks like the seller should be just about gone. You can see where I placed our stop. We're below the bottom of the channel, but we're right at the top of the 30-minute range, which doesn't hold a lot of weight, but it's always a possibility. You don't always get to choose where you get filled, but you want to be aware of where your stop's going to be placed and where you prefer to get filled. That 7.25 is our pivot. I'm sorry, it's 7.75. So it's right in this area, which works out good for us, Paul. Thank you. Makes for a more confident trade. the thing that really makes these pivot points work is you're not the only one that's seeing it on your chart. There's other traders that are seeing that pivot point and they're reacting to it. Same thing goes with resistance and support, obviously. Nothing really going on in the news. Well, we're getting close again. This is where I bailed the last time, so gonna hold strong and fail as it fails. But that's why it's so important where your stop gets put. One tick could make the difference of staying in a trade or getting knocked out. Need a strong push here from the bulls. That's a good sign right there. That candle, that's a bullish candle. Cross our fingers. Looking a little healthier.
All it is you need, 'cause we are trying to find a way to feel. If I could sleep, I'd dream of what we'd be, but I can feel you slip further from me. Oh, it makes it hard to be when you are all that I want, but don't have. And I'll run into the sea, follow this heart that escapes me, it escapes me, and I'm lost. Forget me, all I was and
Struggling again.
Stop filled.
And there it went. Definitely had a lot more confidence in that trade. Just didn't work out. Well, guys, I think we're going to cut it off there. Ended up 217 negative today because I bailed out of that trade. Yep, that would have been a $450 trade had we not bailed out. Would have went from 206 to 210.50 or 28.10.50. But I won't make that mistake again. We'll hold true to our trade, stay in there. At this point, it's probably going to retrace at least back down to this level here, 0.2 to 3 1/4. Which on the 15-minute level is, let's see here, about right. So I hope you guys enjoyed the stream this week. We haven't had the best of luck with trades. Strategy really hasn't worked out for us this week, but we'll stick to it. Go through it again next week and see what happens. You definitely have to give the strategies a fair trial and stay true to the trades. Wish I had stayed in that one, but nothing I can do about it now. If you guys do like the stream, you can hit the subscribe button, get the notifications for the live stream alerts. If not, we're here every morning at 9 a.m. During the trade week. Usually like to stream at least 3 or 4 hours. And that's about it. My name is Lonnie. If you have any questions or anything, you can email me at eministreamer@gmail.com. If you have any questions about setting up your charts or getting NinjaTrader set up, feel free to email me and I'd be happy to help you guys out. Other than that, I hope you guys have an awesome weekend, and I will be back here on Monday. Thanks, guys.